Oh boy. Sorry, everybody. So yeah, sorry, everybody. I hit the USB cable again. This thing, I finally put masking tape on it because it's just this USB jack is a little bit loose, and this dumb camera is very sensitive. If you bump it, it loses connectivity. And YouTube isn't smart enough to have a failed camera with audio only continuous stream. It just freaks out, and there's really no editing interface. Not that anyone from YouTube proper is ever going to see this stream, but you guys have got to fix that stuff. It's ridiculous, totally ridiculous. So we're back anyway. So I'm still where I was with the lower octaves. So some of these get pretty nasty at the lower end, real artifacty, and so I kind of went over the mechanics of things and pain points people had, gripes, all kinds of stuff. So let's start going through some other presets here. That one's called Vocalize One, Vocalize with an S, Vocalize. Um, so you can either do, if you're in preset mode and you just use the preset keys left and right, just navigate for quick stuff. So I'm doing jams and I've already mapped out which presets in my mind or a little piece of paper, which numbers I'm going to use for live looping. I'll have all ready to go. So I can just quickly jump. And these are all push encoders. So you can select and get what you want or use the buttons. But this mode almost sounds like a bagpipe. So it's not 100% realistic cello, but again, it has the properties of cello. And in a mix, it would sound pretty good. But as a solo instrument, here it sounds pretty good. As you get down here, it's bassy, but it's lacking some of the oomph. And you have your really nice use of. So you can get this legato mode in monophonic sense, obviously, but you don't normally have it turned on for polyphonic stuff. So it's clearly polyphonic. But we do this nearest neighbor setting, and you can choose the spread on this legato. So it gives you some of those flavors of a monophonic synth to help make it more expressive, but it's still polyphonic. Let's try some extremes here. Sounds like an old lawnmower. more extremes over here. Almost theremin-y, huh? Like I said, this control can be mapped to the expression pedal or other routings if you want. By default, it's usually the expression pedal, and I'm not plugged in the pedal right now, so I have to give up a hand to do this. So if you don't want to add the automated vibrato, you can just make your own. Real extreme with it. So that's a cello bass, looks like. I'm setting the name of the preset. Got pizzicato. Again, this is a synthetic string pluck. You can hear it's like a car plus strong or some other kind of physically modeled string pluck. You play at different amounts, and you can hear it's artificial, but played quickly and in a mix. And then it does this cool like morph. So played one way, it's pizzicato. This is what I'm talking about when you start playing chords. So I'm really controlling my fingers. It's fine, right? But if you just play like most people do and don't think about it, randomly hammering down, the fingers travel a little bit and you get the which could be part of the effect you want, but normally if you want the notes to be the notes they're supposed to be, you don't want that. So you have to learn that technique not to screw them up. Go through a few more here. Now some proper synth stuff here. You just make some nightmarish stuff pretty easily there. Well, this is a multi-control here. It's doing timbres and other stuff. Effect them out. So yeah, that's a fun one. It's called Two Banks. So another nice thing about this effect, without going up to this note, I can approximate it, the travel. Using that legato. So both are down. I'm centering on this note. So that's a cool little trick too. Just kind of figured that out, messing around. I know it was doing legato to get to the notes, but I didn't know if you hold both down. And this, at least in this patch, it approximates nicely the one in the middle. So that's a fun little trick. I gotta zoom back in. I can't read the chat very well. Sorry. Righty. Yeah, there's this some really clever stuff. I should go back and look at the names, some of this stuff. If I go into edit. And so, for example, this patch has a timbre knob, vibrato, cutoff, envelope time, and you have this scroll function to go through all the different stuff here. So yeah, timbre, vibrato, cutoff, envelope time. This is just the macros. Sub. It's got a little submarine icon there. That's funny. Delay. So those are all your quick macros there. And then you go into the global effects mode, and it's got all kinds of, like, see, a list as well as a rolling thing to the right. You have mix, diffuse for this reverb, mix, diffuse, darkness, damping, decay, extend. That's just for the reverb. And then now you have the EQ section. So you have a nice little EQ section to screw around with. And then you have compression and gain. So pre-gain, compression amount, compression mix, post-gain. So that's nice. And then you also have how you change the pitch bend wheel. Some settings for pitch bend wheel. And then the modulation pedal. This is where I said you could map, like if you wanted the pedal to be different, the expression pedal to be different from this, and what it actually does, as well as the foot switch function. So you have assignment, you have minimum, maximum, and I think that's it for the list. So that's this little list at the top here. So the buttons do the top row. This knob does this, whatever function is here. And then this one does the one down here. And then this encoder will do a list if there's a list. You can go through the list. And then these are various functions based on what mode you're in. So I'm in the presets mode again. Then I have the synth mode. That's what we just went through, all the macros and stuff. There's the sensitivity mode. This is important for people who complain a lot about the thing. It's like, oh, I don't like how it wiggles so easily because they can't control their fingers. Like I said, abductors, adductor muscles. So you can dial in. It's like the training wheels function on the Rolly C board. That also can be very sensitive as you're moving and it's kind of squidging around. And people say, oh, it's too sensitive. I can't get any notes without being sour. So you go in here and you set it. How much bending do you want? Sensitivity curves. You have something called stabilization. And activation. Because one thing I didn't mention in the beginning, at least in the other video before it freaked out, is this thing is so sensitive, unless again you dumb it down, that as soon as I start pressing the key, I'm barely touching it. It's already doing something. Slowly, slowly, slowly. Now I've hit my end, and now I can add extra modulation with the huge aftertouch section. So you can, like with any decent keyboard, you have your velocity curves or incredibly slow builds for doing drones and just really subtle builds. So I'm bending again without thinking about it, because it's easier when you have a chord shapes, right? And you can kind of make a claw and just lock your hand so you don't spread. But when you're doing individual fingers, your hands are just doing whatever they're doing. It's really hard to concentrate, and it's very easy when you're not looking to go, oops. So again, new way of playing, concentration, just you want the pliability of when you need it, but you also don't want to constantly trigger it by being sloppy when you push down on notes. So that's why people say you have to put your time in, just like you do on a C-board or other kinds of stuff that's a newer kind of instrument. Even Polybrute 12, you got to, unless you've done training, like a training wheels functionality on there to dumb down all that cool expression, you're going to get weird ass stuff. It's just, one of those things you have to do. So you have other settings on here. That's the bending. And there's pressure. What pressure does, how much you have, pressure curves, and all kinds of stuff. And then you go over to aftertouch. So again, they separate them here because this is pressure, right? And this is aftertouch. When you hear pressure, it's, a channel aftertouch keyboard is that's pressure, right? They don't really separate the two because they can't. It's just on off, velocity, pressure / aftertouch. That's it. But here they actually separate pressure and aftertouch into two different things. That's why you get this amazing expression. And now aftertouch. So cool stuff. And again, I'm just reviewing this because I forgot some of the stuff because I don't use as much as I should. And then there's a whole bunch of stuff there's a default sensitivity mode. So if you want to put, this is the training wheel stuff, like I said, if you want to make default over everything, no matter what the preset says, you can kind of override that, it looks like here. So that's kind of cool. Again, if you don't want to go and individually tweak every preset that you want to use and not have sour notes. So again, they thought about stuff like that. It's clever. And then there's a playing mode. And this is where you can do, here they call it, it's pressure glide is what they call it. Or you can do a really nice arpeggiator. With patterns. And because I can pull each note in and out with pressure and aftertouch, just 2 or 3 notes, Can get really dynamic. Whereas normally you just run a filter, and it is what it is. That's called converge. So you can change the gate with this one on pressure. Again, what arpeggiator does that? This is called Aftertouch Octave. Very nice. This is called Swingy. And again, you can dial it, what it does on top of the basic setting. Lateral rhythm. So you get a ratchet here. Watch this. Little Tangerine Dream action. So super dynamic, right? I've never used any other keyboard that does all this stuff. This is cool. It's called vertical times. So instead of lateral times, now I've got vertical times. So super, again, ratcheting, super expressive on the fly. So just you figure out new patterns to play with just with pressure and goofing around. This is called play with length. I forgot what this one does. So this is the opposite. So it starts out faster and slows down and stretches the gate out too. More pressure you give it. sour notes there. See, if you're not paying attention, look how my fingers can drift. So that's where the training wheels come in, and you just really have to practice and work on those abductor, adductor muscles. That kind of claw that you just don't need when you play piano. So consequently, if you're not careful, you could overdo it and get carpal tunnel. So you definitely don't want to do that. But you have to figure out some happy medium so you don't go meow, meow, get the sour notes. So those are some of the options you have. So play with length. That's a fun one. And this is called Press Ratchet. So here you go. It says ratchet right in the name. Key travel can be completely tweaked. I was showing you before with the training wheels and the sensitivity and stuff. They don't call it train wheels. This is what Kent and I call the dumbing down of like a Rolly C-board and this kind of keyboard, where this is all too wild for some people and they can't control it. They either don't have the technique or the patience to sit and figure it out or whatever. So you can just go in and essentially cripple the keyboard temporarily with some settings so it doesn't do that. But you ought to learn how to do some of that. Otherwise, why buy the Osmose, right? Because even Rolly Seaboard has a mode where you use it like a piano. It's actually called piano mode. Turns off all the expression, except I think the velocity is still there. But no bending, morphing of notes, no crazy MPE stuff. It's just like piano keys and I think a little bit of velocity, and that's it. Just like a piano would do. So here you are playing these squishy keys, but it's reacting like a piano because you lost all that expression. So again, if that's the mode you want to use it in as like a all-in-one keyboard, you could. But that's kind of nutty because that smushy interface is designed for all that cool expression and morphine and stuff. So again, you buy stuff, use it however you want, but it's kind of silly to use something with all that expression that's built that way and then cripple it and just leave it in that mode. So you could use it again. That's what I call it, training wheels. You start slowly, turn it up a little bit, turn it up a little bit until you get really good at controlling it and not getting all the sour notes that you hate. I've used this thing many times for hardware jams, and you'll hear occasionally I get a sour note. Oh well, what am I going to do? It's a live recording to either a looper or to a stereo recorder, and it's usually supposed to be one take. As the hardware jams goes, you're generally supposed to do it as spontaneously as you can. Obviously, you can do 20 takes if you wanted to, but who has time to do that? So you live with those imperfections, just like you would if you did a live performance in front of an audience on a stage. If you get a few sour notes, you just keep going. Just the way it goes. So it's again, this is all the crazy arpeggiator settings built in. So that's press ratchet. This is like harp strum. So you can, it's like a really fast glissando. See, I'm bending, I'm not controlling it well, I'm getting sour notes. And this is called ASR Travel. That was very interesting. Yeah, so total dynamic control over an arpeggiator. That's nuts. I've not seen any other keyboard do this. I don't even think the instrument has this. Pretty sure Rolly Seaboard doesn't have this level of control over the arpeggiator. It's just this is nuts. This is as unique as modern stuff I've seen as the Emax 2 when it had its nutty arpeggiator section that still to this day has some features I don't see in a lot of arpeggiators. But this takes it on a whole new level, you know. Um, so yeah, that's pretty crazy. So you choose the mode, and then you can go and so here's your other settings for it, like tempo, pattern. Oh, okay. So here's some patterns I didn't try yet. Let's try some patterns. Hello. Why am I not seeing this pattern? Oh yeah. So now you use the ones below for the pattern. So we've got down and up, converge, diverge, convo diverge, thumb up, thumb down, thumb up and down, pinky up, pinky down, random. Any decent arpeggio has a random mode. And as played, so chord mode. And back around to up, down, up and down, blah, 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 blah. So they give you a lot of patterns on top of all those other crazy modes that was in the other menu. Pretty awesome. Then you get adjustments, you get assignments, and there's a global section there. Let's turn this back to pressure glide. And the pressure glide section has a bunch of editing. Like I said, you can make it go over several keys, depending on the note, instrument you're trying to. This is where they let you dial in a style that you play a specific instrument in. Now it's more like a typical fast glide because I've gone way past the normal range you would set on this thing. But the how you dialed it in here. It's still adding a little bit, but it's not as much. And as you keep going, it becomes like a fast glide. But usually the closer keys are really, really nice. Like I said, when you approximate, two of them together is this one. So you get the equivalent of so it just adds that extra level of control and basically a slur essentially, and it gives you that continuation, which is two notes. So very, very cool. Let's back out to the main page again. So I didn't change presets much. I was just going through all the cool deep editing. And you can have this crazy sorting mode too. You can sort by type. So you can sort by, brass and bowed, plucked, windy stuff, all kinds of stuff. So they have this crazy, just like you have on like a Axis Virus that has a lot of presets on it, you need some kind of filtering to dive down real quick and find the ones you want. And then it does a nice grouping. So if you set a filter and you just get the ones you wanted in those categories, which is really handy. This is a lot easier to use than the one in the Virus. You have to dive in a little bit further, from what I remember. But yeah, it's a lot of fun. This one is. Wait, we were on. The other fun thing is there's a lot of good percussion options on here. It's not just normal. I've actually used this on several jams. So I got nice percussive stabs, or using that push arpeggiator section I showed you. It's built into the preset. So it's a lot of fun, actually. Just come up with different ways to perform subtleties in each of the presets. And again, I haven't done any editing. This is just right out of the box. Most of these, I've done a few kind of variations of my own and saved them with like a number after them. So I know what patch it came from, but it's got a variation on it, which means I did something to it. And you got these beautiful stuff that reminds me of like old Korg Owen, the 01W or Wave Station. Kind of fun. Sometimes you just want to pivot to a note for tension or whatever, or a creepy movie. You just keep your hands on the keys and move them. It's very nice. Some of these do a lot of modulation stuff here. So move that one. That's called Abyss Lands. Acid bass. So. Got some little distortion bits in there, added with the aftertouch. Almost like a vocal formant. And I have a couple presets on it I've tweaked to sound like a 303 a little bit with the patterns. So this is a mixture of some other instrument and a guitar. So it doesn't sound like a guitar, but it has a guitar quality to it. Again, this is like physical modeling, plucked or carpless strong. Aerials. A lot of great synthy sounds on here. I love this one. It gives us on a few patches, a few jams. Again, very wave station here. Korg 01W. So it's called After the Rain. Sounds very rain-like. It's funny too because it just started raining here. I can hear it outside. Here's one of those ratcheting ones. But they added other things to here. You get a ratchet with pressure. You also get a little timbre like a. Crazy. It's called Alien Wars, right? No, sorry, Alien Verse. Good for adding texture, just a kind of ambient thing. Good for soundtracks. Nice. Moving synthy parts. Nice one. Skip over a lot of these because they're just okay, you know, typical synthy sounds. So this is called Anna Reed. So it's got the double reed, the Duke sounding. Nice. Oh yeah, I love this one. Anatolian pad. Use just a bunch too. Like, I'm pretty sure this was in the Dune soundtrack. They use a lot of normal presets on here. So that's a good one for the foot pedal, so I can keep my hands on the keys, but I just had to reach over and mess with it. Very, very nice. Another big one, so it's called. You got to control those notes. See, I'm doing a perfect example of how you can be sloppy if you're not careful. It's nice to get pressure for the crescendo, nasty kind of final sounding notes there. A little organ patch. Another good example of the clever use of the glide. To make it basically soft, no attack. And then you can go. A lot of variation in these. Really nice. This is Astral Titans. Just very heavy, very dark. Yeah, it sounds like a JP8000 patch I have. Very nice. So that would be a good one to use for a little quick build. The looper. I'm not going to get to the microcosm. I'm already getting kind of tired. It's getting late. Was it like 1:30 already? Yeah. Getting late. So we got Astral Titans. Let's get some kind of percussion thing down here. When I loaded the factory to the custom, I kind of put a little section in here of percussion kind of together. So if I'm building a percussion thing, I can kind of jump to that section and do some fun. Like a log drum kind of thing. ratcheting drums. This is a fun technique. So instead of using the aftertouch for, changing the speed of arpeggio or whatever, you have this other function where as you go up and down, it's a so you have that same level of pressure control over the timbre of a note to either do like a plucky kind of thing or this kind of an air pump effect. It's very interesting. So here's a nice one that's, I've used this for stuff before. So I'm using the basically like a filter or a timbre control here, but he said to figure out sweet spots. So you can do something like this. That tap tempo is okay on this thing. Not doing the ratchet. Hey, crazy wabbit. Trying to get the ratchet to go consistently. I think that's what you have to do, is a little bit of between the keys. Pick a. This one has a ratchet too. Some of these have different tempos, so in order to use them together without messing tempos up and stuff, you just find a part of it that works. Let's try that. It's an incomplete loop, but I'll see what it does. Come on, figure it out. I made the loop too long there. So I can make it shorter. What is this one? This one is only 8. What is this one? I want to kill that one. It's too long. I'll make it a little shorter. Make it a little bit shorter. Let's make it 4. off there. You can also do pre and post effects if you want to make things a little bit more interesting. So I can do, if I enable, let's see, this one, make sure this one gets effects, on, off. Let's do this, it's off for now, because I don't know if I want them all to have effects. And then you can turn this one on to effects. There's a reverb, we can do not the slicer. This repeat thing, which is fun. Beat shift. Doesn't work for everything, but a vinyl flick effect for DJs. A robot effect, that's funny. A little tremolo effect, that's kind of wild. So then you can do, pick some other thing. Again, I have absolutely no plan on what I'm doing here. Pick another one. How long is that loop? Holy smokes. Way too long. It's from another, I copied the settings from another project and deleted the loop, so this one is just way too damn long. Turn off your, I leave the effects on for that one. Let's do this one here. Now it's getting a little wacky. Pick another rhythm preset. Everybody else has this for some crazy ass rhythms. Custom built on the Osmose. All on the fly. Probably have to cough here. Do want to kill the music. All right. See how long this loop is on this guy. Too long. So now I get some crazy ass pseudo tribal Osmose rhythm nonsense. And then we're going to start finding some presets to play over it. Played some of these already. Tin whistle? Got the overblow. Then we'll go with the pseudo African beat. It's a gloom and doom African beat. almost like a duduk mixed with a vocal formant. Crazy. We got a fake koto. Oh, it's a Bansuri flute. Indian flute. Very beautiful. And they do it monophonic because, again, it's supposed to be a flute. You're not going to get polyphonic out of a flute. Another one. That's a good fluty goodness there. This is a cool one. This is called Balloon from Hanoi. And what's cool about it is this, again, it's using this vertical. Let me kill these for a minute so you can hear the sound here. It sounds like you're rubbing a latex balloon. And again, because it's MPE, you can do little weird crap with one hand while you're doing just normal strums or drones or whatever. crazy. And again, MPE has a nice release velocity. So fun. What's this one? Nice little FM belly kind of thing. Right up Robbie's alley. Mr. Doorbell. I love this one. This one's definitely in the Dune soundtrack. I'm pretty sure I heard this straight in the Dune soundtrack. It's called Benny's Territory. Organy feel to it, or a bagpipe feel to it. Another plucky. So with this, you get that plucky feel. Called Bazambar. This is instead of balafone, it's a balafon. I love this one. I use this for rhythms a lot. And it adds this extra goodies when you press. Well, this is supposed to be a hang drum. Like a muted hang drum. With some extra goodies. This one's great for rhythms too. I love this one. Very nice. used that one already for some rhythms earlier. It's called Shoshigi. Actually, some of the plenties have Japanese names in them. More scrapey stuff. Kind of like I get on the ATV A-frame. But you also have the cool, like tabla kind of. But more metallic. And then really fun. A lot of it's on an LFO synced or you have to basically press them at the right time, otherwise they get kind of weird. Just gotta do the feel so you get the sync right. It's fun. This is all squishy. I did a whole sound effects demo, probably the second or third demo I ever did with the Osmose on my channel using one of these presets. This is called Wet Feeling. There's like a little, this reminds me of some wave drum presets. There's like a little swirly thing when you push down. It's like running water in a cavern. It's kind of swirly. And then you hear water dripping. And these kind of splashy, crackly noises. It's great for like Foley, ASMR kind of stuff. Very clever. And this is a synthesized water fountain, the one that you actually, it's like tines and you bow it and it has water in it and you. Pretty cool. What else we got? Again, some more Indian stuff on here. There's a sitar. Got some sympathetic resonance emulation in there. Crazy. Nice patches there. Bass. This is just called Creaker, which is like a bunch of like kind of weird little animal sounds, like frogs or something. Yeah, so you get the idea. I've already played a little bit of rhythms, played some of the weird lead tones and effects, went through kind of the general. There you go. So modified kind of bell-like tones with some noise. Yeah, you get the idea. I don't want to go too long on this thing, but so part two, if you missed part one, I had a camera glitch with a stupid USB camera. So it's still up. It's just cut off at one point. So I think that's good for now. I'm going to get some other stuff dialed in for next time. Maybe do some more looping on the Osmose. Add this microcosm I had over here. Didn't have time to hook up tonight. Going to add some other extra dimensions to the wacky Osmose. More like crazy sound design and soundscapey, soundtracky stuff that, again, if you didn't hear the beginning of probably the first segment that got cut off, it's still on YouTube, but it's just in two parts now. That inspired me to pull this out today over any other day lately is the recent Dune video with Expressive Osmose and the team from Expressive making custom patches for Hans Zimmer for Dune. I think he's working on some patches as well, but he had to learn how to use it first because it is different. And if you've never seen the Egan Matrix, which I'll share at some point once I get a license for Max MSP and not have to worry about a demo expiring, I'll do something similar to what Ben Jordan did with the editing Osmose presets. It's pretty wild. It's very nerdy. If you haven't seen a Hawken Continuum, it's basically the same engine. And basically part of the reason why a lot of people complain about the Osmose, because they go, well, it only has this certain palette to it, and I like real sounds, not synthesized sounds, or I don't like stuff that weird. But it's like any other keyboard. You're not going to get one keyboard that does everything, and you're not going to get one sample library that does everything. So you can get beautiful orchestral libraries, but they're not going to be great for brass. Probably you got to get a brass library, and you got to get a percussion library, and you got to get all that kind of stuff. So expecting a keyboard to be the same is just, like one keyboard covers everything. It doesn't, especially when it's kind of a weird specific synth engine like the Egan Matrix. It's like part physical modeling, part FM, part virtual analog. There's some samples in there. You can probably do some granular stuff with it, I'm sure. So it has a lot of variety, but the presets it came with, until you add more somehow or make your own, that's it. Or use it with as a MIDI controller to control any other piece of gear, MPE, Poly Aftertouch, whatever. But yeah, I think that will do it. So thanks again for everybody. Thanks, Viral Beats, for hanging in there and getting folks to come over here from your stream. I'll have to go back and watch your Hydrosynth thing all the way. That's another thing I have to do. I haven't done a Hydrosynth video forever. I've used it a couple times for hardware jams, but never actually did a demo, I don't think. No tech demos or preset demos, just used it and stuff. So that's on my horizon as well. And as usual, appreciate everybody coming by. And anyone who comes by and watches it after the fact, leaves comments, whatever. Probably if you guys are already here, you've got like and subscribe as usual. It's always appreciated. I'm not monetized or anything, so I don't have enough viewers to be monetized, but it's always nice to have more engagement. So I'll have to end it there. I got to get some sleep. So thanks again, everybody. Appreciate everybody coming and having fun with the wacky Osmose. I did a little rhythm thingy to play out just because I built it, even though it's kind of on the fly wacky.